have they given themselves unnecessary worries there with those two late goals?
I mean, for an hour, Liverpool were just on another level, and the intensity to their game just shook Roma to the core. They just couldn't live with them. You don't want to be conceding 2 home goals, but at the end of the day, if you had asked all the players and Jurgen Klopp, would you take 5-2? You'd be saying yes, please. Liverpool will carry a threat away from home, Tommy. Don't worry about that, and they'll be encouraged that 5 goals they've scored tonight doesn't really flatter them. There could have been more. So I wouldn't be panicking about the 2 goals they've conceded tonight, because they've got so much firepower.
Would you not be questioning a team that couldn't see out those last 10 minutes, Neil, without conceding?
Well, if you look at the first goal, it's obviously a mistake by Lovren. The second goal, I don't think it's a penalty. I just think Liverpool have got too much power. This is a very good Liverpool team. The only question, if you want to put a negative on it, is do they run out of steam late on in the game because they put so much emphasis on pressing and intensity levels early on? But some of the football tonight was breathtaking. It could have been 7 or 8. And the front 3 are exceptional. Salah, he looks Messi-esque at the minute, unplayable. They took him off.
That with a drink.
They took him off. They lose the 2 goals, but I think they're there. I think they will score in Rome.
Is there a point in that, Brian, that Liverpool, unless they're at full pelt, that they can be vulnerable?
Well, I think they've managed the season very well this year. Klopp got a lot of criticism around the Christmas time for rotating the players, rotating the defenders and rotating the attackers. But I think he's managed it. I think he's assessed it well, and the team has looked fresh. I mean, yes, they conceded the 2 goals late on, but they were so much faster and quicker around the pitch than this Roma team, who are coming on air, having beaten Barcelona in the last round. So I agree with Neil that Liverpool will score in the away leg.
So ultimately, all 3 of you are focusing on the 80 minutes that preceded that last 10 minutes and the sensational performance for Liverpool for most of that.
Some of it was breathtaking, Tommy. This is the semi-finals of the Champions League. You're not playing against any mugs, and they made. I worked in Italy. Italians are big on doing the basics correct. And they made this Italian team at times look very, very ordinary, making simple errors. They were isolating people that didn't look like they could play at this level. I always, people talk about Messi not being the greatest because he hasn't won a World Cup. Messi does that week in, week out when he plays in the Champions League against the same players. He makes great players look ordinary. And Liverpool tonight did that for the largest part. They made a good team. I'm not saying it's a great team. It's a good team that has had some great results this Champions League. They made them look very ordinary tonight and forced them into making basic errors that you wouldn't expect from Italian players, top players.
Yeah, how much of a chance do you give them, Graham?
Roma. Small. 2 or 3 they have a chance, but it's a small chance. Simply because where did Liverpool not score? They'll go there. They won't try. They won't start the game next week and think, right, we've got this lead, let's sit on it. They'll go there thinking, we've got an early goal, we can put this game to bed. I mean, they've only ever played one way all season. I don't see them changing going there. They'll try and score. And they're pretty good at
they certainly are.
Creating chances and scoring them.
Neil, before the game, I asked you what it was like for a team to have a striker like Salah, a goal scorer like Salah, and whether that breeds confidence and belief within a team. This guy just can't stop scoring.
Can't stop scoring, can't stop playing well. I thought he was just unplayable tonight. Semi-final of the Champions League, he's had all the pressure on him, all the build-up, and he's just answered with an unbelievably good performance. Not only did he run the line, from the start of the game he had the measure of Jesus very, very quickly. And from then on, once the Mane chance that started opening Roma up, the game was Liverpool's for a good 60, 70 minutes. I thought Liverpool were outstanding tonight. They've got great legs in midfield, great quality, but the front 3 at the minute are unplayable. Firmino was as good as he's been all season. Mane could have had a hat-trick himself. So the firepower and the pace and the quality at the end of it is really evident there at the minute.
It's a sensational, it's phenomenal, really, Brian, in all senses of the word. Two Salah goals in the first half, both assisted by Firmino. Mane scores, assisted by Salah. Firmino scores, assisted by Salah, and then Firmino gets a fifth. It's an extraordinary trio they have there.
Well, they've scored 30 goals between them in the Champions League this year, including the Hoffenheim game early on. It is extraordinary. But I showed a little piece before the match, that combination play between the three of them, the understanding, the unselfishness of the work, and then the delivery of the cross, the timing of the cross. I mean, the exceptional finishing, but it's also the creation of the goals, the movement. They had, as Graham said, they made the Roma defenders, who looked brilliant against Barcelona. They looked like a park team. So the goals just came rolling on. I mean, here's the work rate in the middle of the field, tackling, Henderson's in, ball breaks, and here they go, the three amigos. Mane gets it out, run forward, Salah's onto it, and you know, you're almost expecting him to come up with something exceptional. He does. Graham's right, Manola should have went closer to him, but still, instead of it's right in the top corner. Alisson's supposed to be a top goalkeeper. He's almost making them look foolish. Here's the link play again between the pair of them. Firmino into Salah. And what a finish that is. You're wondering, will it stop before the line? Will the defender get it? But it's just timed perfectly to reach the line. Just magnificent.
Graham, there was a piece in the paper you write a column for the Sunday Times the weekend by Jonathan Northcroft, where he talked about watching Liverpool in pre-season in Germany last summer, and watching the drilling that goes on with those counter-attacks with those three players. Is that the result of that, or the result of just great players fusing together brilliantly? Well,
I'll be 10% the work they've done and 90% just fabulous footballers working out what the situation demands. I mean, I look at that game tonight, trying to analyse it 5 minutes after the finish. If you think about it, Liverpool started off, they couldn't get going, they were trying to play the intricate little passing, and it changed on what you pointed out. It was a ball over the top for Mane, and all of a sudden now you've got a back three that are thinking they're going to get turned every time, and they did for 5 minutes. And instead of Roma's back three being right up, which if you're playing a high-pressing game, the back three have to be in touch with their midfield, the midfield have to be in touch with their strikers. So once you started turning that back three, everyone was now dropping off, and the momentum of the game, it was a complete sea change in Liverpool's favour. All of a sudden, the back three couldn't push up, and the result of that was not only could they get the football going, but they were playing further into Roma's half. For an hour, they were sensational tonight. And you know, you look at Liverpool's midfield and you're thinking, is that on paper? Is that a good midfield? But they're high energy, and all their job is to do is break things up and get it to the three guys up front.
Off the back as well, after 15 minutes, lost Oxlade-Chamberlain and had to make the change. I just think Di Francesco tonight will have a lot of regrets about the way he set
his team up.
Yeah, and playing a high line against players of that pace.
Because as soon as, can we just bring in the...
I don't think so, not against Liverpool.
The third Liverpool goal, and you picked this up, Graham. Salah receives the ball and sets up Mane, and you pointed out that it was almost a carbon copy of what happened against City. So was your point, Neil, that Di Francesco had all the evidence he needed from this game as to how Liverpool would play?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's fairly obvious how they play. They're a great counter-attacking side as well. I just think when they went to a back four, and Graham called it at half-time, he should go to a back four. He didn't. He stays with a three. Look, this is a nothing ball down the side. And Manolas is trying to play offside. And this is a world-class player in 30 yards of space, and they just almost walk the ball in the net.
But Tommy, not alone did they know what to expect from how Liverpool had been playing. They also knew Salah. They'd had him for 2 years, and they knew what his main asset was. He's got pace, he's got skill, but most of all, he likes to run in behind players if there's space. He uses his pace to get there. So I agree totally. I'm surprised that Di Francesco went with the same formation, not just the same formation, but the same attitude to try and press Liverpool up the pitch and to allow Kolarov and Florenzi to both push up and leave that space in behind. That's exactly what Liverpool want. And I think tactically, Klopp got it bang on. The other thing I'd say, he asked the question about what is it, you know, the three players together, and what should we put it down to their individual brilliance. I would also put it down and say, fair play to them on the recruitment of the three players.
Absolutely.
There was no celebration
Absolutely.
about Firmino coming from Hoffenheim at the time.
I can't remember Salah being on anyone's horizon.
Well, in fairness to Salah,
14, 15
I did
goals.
spot him when he was at Basel and they beat Spurs. I think they beat Liverpool, they beat Chelsea in various competitions.
Yeah, but
and I
Brian,
saw
he then had a go in England, and no one fancied him in
he
England.
didn't get a go at Chelsea. Marino never played him, didn't give him a go. Loaned him to Fiorentina, and he's gone there. But equally, Mane, yeah, he was a good player at Southampton. But you weren't.
Smart recruitment. Okay,
Absolutely.
great. Before we have to take a break now in a minute, but go on.
Can I make a point about holding a high line? You hold a high. Everyone's obsessed with the high press today. All the best teams want to play with a high press. But when you play a high press, you're vulnerable to the ball.
Over
you're
the
leaving
top.
a gap between your last defender and your goalkeeper, an enormous area for the other team to play in. But like Man City, like going back to when I played, it was a trade-off. You knew that occasionally you were going to get exposed by holding a high line. But that risk was worth taking, because over 60 games, the benefits of being in touch with everyone, the midfield with the back and the midfield with the strikers, everyone being together, really difficult to play through. But it was a trade-off. You knew you were going to concede goals occasionally.
And that happened to Roma tonight. Yes, a few small clouds on Klopp's otherwise sunny disposition there tonight. Let's get on to goal number 4. It was Firmino setting up Salah for the first two, and then Salah returned the favour. Graham, you might talk us through this one. Graham?
Oh, me? So sorry. Well, again, down the right-hand side. And Salah ends up, 1 against 1, which is a dream, a nightmare for a defender. And this is not a great ball in. He chops this across the goal. If you watch this and see it from a lower camera. But time and time again, because they're going with 3 at the back, fullbacks are not where Salah wants to play. It's a dream for him. And then, he's happy to go 1 against 1. And then this ball here is not a great ball. You see, he chops it in, but it's a tap-in. And, when you're talking about who's assisting, who's scoring goals, it's just those 3. The midfield players behind them are just absolute workhorses, and just leave the magic to that front 3 who create and score goals, all of them.
And again, the flaw there being Salah being allowed space in behind Colorado.
Yeah, where a fullback would normally be a 4. We talked about making a 4, but they just got in time and time again down that right-hand side.
But even in a 3, Graham, the left centre-half's got to get out there and engage him quicker.
I think
Once Salah gets the speed up, you're in trouble. He backs you off into the box. 1v1, you're in big trouble.
I think we saw him with Manolis for the first goal. I don't think any of them want to really go near him. And they would know him inside out, having spent a couple of years with him. Yeah, it's as if, it's not me. Let someone else have that job.
Neil, you've got a piece that kind of shows the story of the match, or the flow of the match, including the early spell where Roma looked really good and Liverpool just didn't really get started for the first 15-20 minutes or so.
The interviewer interviewing Klopp was saying the first 15 minutes was more than that. Good start, everything was going through Jekyll. This is where you get a bit of luck, and sometimes to win tournaments you need the luck. It's a total miscalculation from Karius, big mistake, and then this all changed the game. Once Liverpool got in behind for the first time, it really spooked Roma after that. Alright, he misses, but it gave Liverpool the belief to go, you know what, we can hurt this team now. And from then on, it was a procession for Liverpool. Great energy from Henderson, great second half. They just had too much. It was too much for De Rossi. Against Salah and acres of space at times. Liverpool pressing high, forcing mistakes, the pressing, just everything, the whole flow of the game had gone Liverpool's way. That's the corner they give away. And from the resulting corner, which Roma didn't defend very well, their zonal, they were so poor all night. It's a comfortable goal for Firmino.
Such an un-Italian goal to concede.
But Graham, Lovren should have scored in the first half from a block by Mane, and that's another free header that Firmino gets. It was too easy, and at that stage it could have been 6, 7, 8. Such is the power that Liverpool, of the goal scoring power that they have.
It was complete dominance, Brian. I wonder now. This is just. I'll put it to you. Klopp taking off Salah after 75 minutes. OK, they're 5-0 up. They're cruising. But does it send a message that the game is done, and does it cause Liverpool to switch off a bit?
I think that's a reasonable comment. To bring on Danny Ings, who was only just come back and got bits and pieces of matches. I think he started at the weekend against West Bromwich Albion, but it did look a bit that way. And a 5-0 maybe it was sending a bit message. But I think we have to pay Roma with a little bit of credit. Again, I said before the game, they've managed to get a goal in Shakhtar that gave them the chance of beating Shakhtar, and a goal in Barcelona. And they're in the same situation now where after the Barcelona match, 3 goals down. So Zeko's goal got them back into the game. They've added another to it, and the 3 goals down. So they'll be saying all is not lost, but they also have to be looking at themselves defensively and saying, you know, we've got to do better. If they play gung-ho as they did against Barcelona in the home game, Liverpool will score goals against them.
Yeah, what about defensively here, Graham?
Liverpool defensively. Well, I think they've been good all night. That's just a mistimed. Lovren's got to see that ball. The ball's travelled a long way. He's not, when he jumps to head the ball, he's 6-9 inches off the ball. You know, that's just not picked to flight the ball up properly. It's a lapse.
It's very similar to the 2 goals we showed before the match, the one against Chelsea and the one against Barcelona.
He still worries
where
me,
he's
Brian.
running behind.
Lovren still worries me.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
And the goalkeeper for me as well.
Yeah, that would be the 2 areas that would concern you, you know, against the better teams. But I think, you know, we've all been there. You're in a game, you're 5-0 up, and psychologically you don't mean to do it, but instead of doing that movement, you're doing that, you're in reverse. And you don't mean to do it, but it does happen. 5-0 up, you're thinking, job done. You know, Salah, the best player they've got, has gone off, so we don't carry as big a threat. Just little things in your head.
Oh, but can I just say, I don't think the substitution has anything to do with Liverpool conceding 2 goals. I think he's every rate at 5-0 with 12 minutes to go. They expect to bring Salah off, give him a rest, keep him okay, and see the game out. You know, that's a blatant.
Give him a rest for Stoke at the weekend.
Possibly.
What's he keeping him okay for? He doesn't need him play
Well,
against Stoke.
you know,
they've 8 points lead.
Listen, Brian, you're 5-0 up.
But they've an 8-point lead on Chelsea. They've no need to worry. The only match he needs to be concerned about is next week.
Yeah, but did he not play the weekend, Salah?
He
played against West Brom, didn't he?
He came on late.
No, he played.
Oh, sorry, he started.
Yeah.
So he played on Saturday. He's played tonight. The kid needs a rest then again. On a 5-0, he's every right to expect. If it's 1-0 or 2-0, obviously it doesn't happen. At 5-0 with 10 minutes to go, I think Klopp has every right to go, right, come on off and have a rest.
I think there's 2 things there. A, we don't know. Second guessing. Did he feel a bit of tightness somewhere? If you remember a couple of weeks ago, he was going off.
Yeah, he was a due for the Man City match, wasn't he?
Maybe feeling something, or he wanted to give him a standing ovation. You know, he wanted to get him a standing ovation from the Anfield crowd. But we're second guessing.
But you said about the whole thing of you take that step back. Nainggolan has all the time in the world to measure that pass.
It's nothing to do with Salah coming off, though.
But is it a mentality thing with Liverpool in that if they are not completely, absolutely focused and full pelt, that they will step off and Tommy, they will give opposition chances?
Nainggolan's got a bit of time, right? Lovren gets done with an angled diagonal ball, which is bread and butter. So you can't blame Klopp for making that change, in my opinion. That's down to Lovren's poor defending, and it's a good finish, and it gives a minimum of a lifeline for Roma, but it's got nothing to do with taking Salah off.
It's a defender not doing his job in a very basic situation, and that's what Lovren is capable of. He's capable of making a rick occasionally.
Simple as that. Well, if that gave them a slim chance, the penalty gives them a little bit more than a slim chance, Brian, and Klopp's perception of it there was that it shouldn't have been a penalty.
Well, it was a soft penalty, let's say. Milner's gone attacking the ball here. His arm is out. It's not close to his body, the arm, is it? And he's not close to the ball when it's hit. It's hard to see that very clearly.
Graham?
You know, I'm going to say yes, because I think it appears, I don't know if we could see him again, but it appears to hit both his body and his arm at the same time. And your point that his arm is out there, not well, but it's there, and it's on target.
Bearing in mind that the law says it has to be a deliberate act.
A deliberate act, so is he making his body bigger? Why do defenders put their arms behind their back then? You know, if your arms are there, it's not deliberate. You see penalties given all the time for your arms being out the side of your body. And I think in a modern game it is a penalty. It's unlucky.
I can understand why the referee's given it. If however it's come off his thigh first or his stomach, then it's accidental. but I can see why the referee's given it at the time.
OK, night at Anfield, and Liverpool in good shape to progress to their 8th European Cup final. We were talking about the consensus being that Liverpool's star forwards aside, the amount of space that Roma allowed them to attack was key tonight. Brian, you're going to point that out for us.
Yeah, and I think Klopp and the staff devised the plan to exploit that space if Roma chose to play the same way they did against Barcelona, with the same line-up and pushing up and pressing Barcelona. Liverpool said, well, if you do that to us, we're going to play in a very deliberate way to try and use that space and use the pace up front. And we saw that repeatedly, even early in the match before Liverpool really got going. You see, quite prepared to play it early and kind of longish, long balls. Manny gets a chance, puts her over the bar. This is when the game had already turned. Look at Alexander, plays the ball forward, and it breaks well for Liverpool. They're able to get players up around the box. Already you can see signs of Roma being in a certain amount of chaos. Another just straightforward, long ball, load of space in behind Robertson's ball, let it run on, and Ronaldo breaking from midfield, gets the shot away. Alisson makes the save. And I mean, often it was Kolarov was the one out of position, but sometimes it's Florenzi, sometimes it's Fazio. Again, straightforward ball. This time the goalkeeper gets out and rescue repeatedly. Ronaldo, there you go. I mean, look at Kolarov, just ambles back, and it's Salah that's running away from him. No sign of Jesus coming across quick enough to deal with it. Salah's able to have a look up, pick out something, doesn't break well from that time. Just a bill forward, away you go, Firmino. Now this is what the centre-half should be doing. Manolas getting over out into the wide position and getting rid of it. But they start too late to get over. Here you go again. Look him out space, he's onside once again. And it's a suicidal type of defending to perform that way. Here you go, just knock it into the net. And really, Roma made it very, very easy for them. And Liverpool took advantage of it and scored 5 goals.
Sure did. When there's no sign of Jesus, you're in trouble, lads. Let's hear. Yeah, Liverpool 5-2 up, heading to Rome next week. Just sum up this the status of this tie for us now. You're confident for your former club.
I think it's all but done. I just can't see Liverpool not scoring over in Rome. I think what will definitely happen in Rome. Brian alluded to it last week. Roma will physically set about Liverpool like they did Barcelona. They bullied Barcelona, knocked them out of their stride, and they saw that as the route to success, and they achieved it on the night. And I think for Liverpool, the likes of Salah will be targeted, where he's an old player, not Mane, Firmino. They'll all be on the receiving end of some rough treatment. But I fully expect Liverpool to get a goal there and kill it.
Consensus then being Liverpool from you three.